Hey hotties, hey friends, hey acquaintances, hey haters. That was a little corny. I apologize. That was corny. Because if you hate, actually, no, I was like, if you hate me, you wouldn't listen to the podcast. But I'm like, no, hate watch happens a lot. That would be so cool if someone like hates me enough though to watch my podcast. Like, I welcome it. I need the views. So we had last week off, if you didn't notice. So the week off, one was because I was tired. And I know I talked about how I had nothing to do except this podcast. But last week I was also so tired. But also, fun fact, I like to pretend that this podcast, I do it by myself. That's actually not true though. Producer Ezra does 50%, truly 50%, maybe more than 50%. And he was in finals last week, school. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Ezra, his first love actually isn't Housewives or even Bravo. It's really a second love for him. His first love is filmmaking. And if you like really dark, artsy human storytelling, check him out. And he's available for hire as well this summer. But yeah, he needed the week off. He didn't ask for it. He was like, no, we can do the podcast. I was like, no, you need the week off. So we were off and I was like, it makes sense because I was on Bravo Back Talk that week and we talked literally everything. We talked Atlanta, Summer House, like everything. So if you're interested in my takes of last week, listen to that. She's a newer podcast and she's really, really great. But yeah, so just personal check-in before we start talking about Bravo is a couple weeks ago I was telling, I think it was when Ez was on with me co-hosting, we were talking about how I'd been a little sad because I'd been unemployed. I'm no longer unemployed. I have received a job offer. I shall be starting this job. Don't see it affecting the podcast much because this is already like a little side hustle I do on the weekend. But if you notice my spirit is lifted, and if you notice maybe I'm wearing nicer clothing, that's because I will no longer be poor. I will just be slightly above the poverty level, which, you know, that's all I'm aiming for. But yeah, I had a good week with getting that job offer. And then I went and saw my friend Rob, you know, Vanderpump Robs. He did a live show with Meredith Lynch, Molly, another podcaster, and Kiki Monique from Talk of Shame was the special host. It was awesome. Definitely follow all those creators. I had such a fun time watching them live and it was a great venue, fun time. And yeah, that's me. But you don't tune in this podcast to talk about me and my life. You want to talk about Bravo. And I want to talk about Bravo. So let's talk about Bravo. Okay, so The Valley. We are on episode 5, The Grapes of Wrath. Okay, so we're still in Santa Barbara. I normally hate when the cast vacation. I like it to be 2 episodes. And I think we're on 3. But this was a good one. So Jesse decides to stay during the trip. He is attempting maturity. But he's being an asshole. He's showing he's an asshole and he's being an asshole and he's just an asshole. He's been drinking all day. And then Michelle goes to talk about Nia, about how Jesse is annoying her. I love Michelle, but then I hate her. I love her. I hate her. I think one thing we all need to keep in mind with Michelle is we are seeing her past the point of being triggered, like beyond triggered. And so I just feel like people are so much more judgmental of her because of misogyny. And, okay, theory. Bravo is racist. Here's why I think Bravo is racist, my two reasoning. There are a lot more than this, but these are just subtle things in the shows we're talking about this week. I've noticed a lot online of people making fun of how Michelle talks. And yeah, she does talk very monotone, but I can name other people who talk monotone that don't get made fun of the same way as she does. And I really think because Michelle's father is Persian and I believe her mother is Mexican. And so she grew up in a house with immigrants that were speaking Spanish, Farsi, and she was hearing English being spoken with an accent, not a dialect. Like, a dialect is a variation of a language you already know, and accents outside of a language you know. So she was hearing two different accents. So when you really think about how Michelle's speech is, it does sound like a mixture of being in California, because she's from Southern California. It's a little valley. That's just how we talk out here. And if you have something to say about that, stop offending my culture. This is the Real Housecast of North Hollywood. I am in the valley, people, okay? Take that somewhere else. But it sounds like a little like she's used to saying words in Farsi, words in Spanish, words in English. So if Michelle has no fans, I am dead. I will defend her just at least about how she speaks. And honestly, I love her voice. Like, her podcast, not bad, but I do turn it on a lot at night to fall asleep because something about how she speaks, even as she's talking about how much she fucking hates Jesse, it's something about the rhythm of it. It just makes me feel calm. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Like, it's very like vibey. Okay, back to the episode. And so Zach and Brittany lay in bed. It reminded me of me and my bestie Jordan. Also, shout out to Jordan, who sometimes listens to the pod. He uses this podcast the way I use Michelle's podcast to fall asleep. So Jordan baby, if you're deep in sleep right now, I love you. And when I was watching Zach and Brittany in bed, I was thinking about you because I was like, oh, this is like us, except you are not a disgusting human who would eat in bed like he did. Ugh, gross. Zach is calling out the Brittany and Jack situation as abusive because it is. So thank you, Zach, because it's kind of been annoying me all season how no one has been saying it's abusive. It's abusive. This is abuse. So Jesse has 2 bottles of champagne before they go to the winery. Now, if I have any listeners out here who aren't big winery people, or if you don't drink yourself, I do. I love a winery. When I go to the winery, I do not drink before because no matter what, like, you're going to be a little drunk at a winery. Like, a little bit. Like, they're giving you fucking cheese and crackers and fruit, you know? That was pretty crazy to me. And Jesse is being beyond annoying in the car. Like, and everyone's annoyed because he's being fucking annoying. Like, he just won't shut up. He's moving around. He's just being obnoxious. And then they're like, is it snowing outside? And the van they're in, like, pulls over because it wasn't snowing. That was smoke everywhere. And Luke just gets out of the car. Now, I've never been attracted to Luke so far in the valley, but after this episode, I am. I'm so attracted to Luke after that because he got out of that van, looked in, diagnosed the problem, gave a solution, was very like helping everyone out, not being rude. Like, I was like, that's the kind of man you want. I see it, Kristen. I understand. Good job, Kristen. Can you imagine, like, the difference between, like, no. Think about if Tom Sandoval, she never broke up with Tom Sandoval, and he was in that van, and he had to get out. Like, he would have been doing what Jesse was doing. So I am so happy that Kristen got a man like Luke. So then they all arrive to the winery. You can immediately tell Brittany and Zach do not drink wine. They do not like wine. They are uncomfortable with the winery. Danny comes in late from a voiceover job and he is ready to drink. So they pour him a glass of wine and he's like, that pour is light. Give me more. Give me more. I'm like, a little obnoxious, my dude. And he's getting drunk. Lit. Drunk. And then Janet made a joke with Zach at the table. The tables are turning. They're becoming friends. Then things get worse. Jesse asked Michelle to talk to him. So Michelle, basically, they're going back and forth about the escort hooker thing and the whole trip so far. And basically, he thinks she should apologize to him and like vice versa. Like, they want to receive apologies, not give apologies. But remember, Jesse's drunk at this point. And he calls Michelle a hooker again. And then Michelle is beyond triggered. She is so triggered. And she's like, I'm the mother of your fucking child. Da 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 da. And like when I saw that in the preview, I was like, oh, Michelle quit giving him, but that was justified, completely justified that time. I did find it quite funny though when she was like, gay guys give you money. He's the escort. I mean, they are just pulling to hurt each other, but it's like, I don't know. What else is she supposed to do in that moment? She is pushed beyond her belief. So then Brittany goes up to Jesse to force him up to apologize to Michelle. And he does, but then he tries to have a conversation. Brittany's like, no, not happening. And then as they're all screaming and fighting, the owners of the winery come out and they're like, hope you guys had a good time. And Brittany's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is a nice ass place. And we're all up here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm with you, girl. I'm with you 100%, Brittany. Like, yeah, take that back to the house. So then they're back at the house and Janet goes to the closet, like not the closet, the pantry. And she notices Danny hiding in there chugging tequila. Jesse and Michelle go to talk about what happened and accomplish nothing but screaming more at each other and really trying to put all their shit out there for their whole house to feel the vibes. He calls her a lying, cheating whore. I did notice, though, during this scene, because we're in Jesse's room. So we're in Jesse's room in Santa Barbara. I was looking on the nightstand. I saw some cigarettes, and I was like, huh. Didn't know Jesse was a smoker. Seems like a guy who might smoke when he's drunk, though. Found it very interesting they were yellow American spirits, which is what I smoked when I was 18 years old. So, I don't like that I have anything in common with this man, but I just have to be honest with you guys. As I make fun of the cigarettes that I also used to purchase myself back in the day. Nia then talks to Michelle, and Michelle's like, you know what? I'm done with communication. Good. You should have been done earlier, but thank God. And then Nia walks into the bedroom, and Danny is passed out. She like puts on a show of like, hi, honey. I'm Snow White. Time to wake up because the cameras are watching us, so we're a perfect couple. We can't fight, Danny. And Danny's like, like knocked the fuck out. So then they go outside to have dinner, and Nia's like, yeah, Danny's just exhausted, everyone. And everyone's like, the fuck? He's drunk. We saw him chugging tequila in the closet. And then Jasmine says in her confessional, and she's just like, I'm uncomfortable with his behavior because he's been inappropriate with me. And to me, it feels like Jasmine feels unsafe. Like Danny will push it to a point where other people might not feel safe. And during all this, Jax is texting Brittany. But she is texting back because it's nice this time. I'm like, girl, Michelle and Brittany are in the same place. Cut it off. Stop. No communication. They are just like, they want any attention, good or bad, from you. So stop it. I mean, I'm sure they have now, but stop it. And I kind of loved how Jasmine called out how it was fake, but girl, you gotta say it a little bit louder. You gotta say it so everyone can hear it. Say it with your chest. I'm sure all my audio-only listeners love that, Pat. They're like, guys, if you didn't know, I just touched my chest. If you're audio-only. I don't think we really have that many audio-only listeners because I'm so pretty. Why wouldn't you want to see my face and watch the video? Jasmine calls out Nia for her Miss USA answers. Agree. But girl, don't just say it in the confessional. Say it at the table. Say it with everyone right there. Kristen is weirdly quiet, though, during this whole scene. Just very strangely. Seems a little high to me. And then I think later she's like, yeah, I took a Valium before. And then Brittany decides to call them out because Nia goes inside to check in on him. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to call it all out. And Kristen's like, calls out how they're all talking about it, but not until Nia had left the dinner. It's like, if you're going to talk about it, say it right there. And then Zach tells Nia what everyone was saying. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, I like to call this revenge gossip. This is revenge gossip. Nia, because he's mad at Brittany for telling that stuff to Janet. So he's going to tell Nia what Brittany was saying. This is to get back at Brittany. Nia is caught off guard. She is shocked. She is shaken. And then they walk in because Nia's like, I'm gonna confront him. And then she goes to the door. She listens. She hears they're all talking shit. And she walks in, and episode ends there. So I guess we're going to have another episode in Santa Barbara. I just realized. But yeah, fun episode. I'm loving the Valley without Jax. If we could even just cut out him texting from Brittany and no confessionals, take him out of the after show. Just Valley would be a perfect show without Jax Taylor.
Beep, 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 beep. We're interrupting your regularly scheduled recap for this Bravo news.
Let's do a little Bravo news. Okay. BravoCon was announced. The dates, the tickets, everything. I'm sorry, I'm such a bad singer. Okay, it all got announced. I did the math. Bare minimum you would need to do general admission, which I heard general admission sucks, and get a hotel in Vegas, eat 2 times a day, have a couple glasses of wine, spend $200 on merch, which is honestly like a hoodie and a sock. That's not that much for merch. For 2 people, $5,000 minimum. Like minimum $5,000. So Bravo, can you hear me? Sorry guys, I just watched Yentl recently. If you haven't seen my little TikTok I made, I asked Brittany from Salt Lake City to sing Papa Can You Hear Me from Yentl, and she sang it for me. Great. But yeah, Bravo, if you want to send me a ticket, maybe I'd go. But what is this saying about what kind of people they want there and what kind of people they want watching the network? And I think there are 2 kinds of Bravo viewers. There are people who watch it because we're fascinated, we're interested. There's like this curiosity. And then there are people who really want to be a Real Housewife and want to be on the show. And so if they want to build out BravoCon for those people, fine, whatever, dude. Fuck you anyway. I'll just be watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. And also another thing about BravoCon, I was about to move on, but I forgot this. It is so easy to meet Bravo celebrities out in the wild. Obviously, I can only speak to LA because I'm a local. I've met most of the Vanderpump Rules cast. Could easily meet more of the Housewives of Beverly Hills. It used to be a lot easier when Kyle had her store, but it's really not hard. And they also do meet and greet and events where you can pay like $100, $150 and have that BravoCon experience. Now, it won't be meeting all the Bravo celebrities at once like you would at BravoCon, but you don't need to go into debt to meet a Bravo celebrity. If you want to go into debt, go to the Beyonce concert. You're never going to meet Beyonce out in the wild. You never will. Go see a Diana Ross at the Hollywood Bowl. One, you won't even go into debt, but also, you're not ever going to see her. If you can't afford to go to BravoCon, go to Tom Tom on any Sunday. You will meet Tom Schwartz, probably take a shot with him, smoke a cigarette, and get his phone number. It's not hard to do. So don't spend $5,000 to go do that. Unless you have just a bunch of money. And if you have a bunch of money, call me. Take me. So Secret Life of Mormon Wives is back on Hulu. So far, I'm about an episode in. I might do a little side quest where we do some recapping of it, but I'm loving it so far. And Real Housewives of Miami will be back soon. Yeah. All right. Summer House. Let's talk Summer House. Season 9. Episode 14. We're so close to the end. I don't want it to end. Okay. It starts with Sarah and Jesse still talking on the beach. He apologizes to her and decides they need to move forward. But then later, back at the house, it seems like he tells Lexi it's not all good, and him and Sarah are just show friends. Did you guys catch that? He said show friends. So I noticed Gabby and Lindsay left the house early, and then everyone else leaves a little bit later, but we're just seeing the cast in the city, seeing Sierra and Jesse at the US Open. Oh. And then we see Amanda Batula has the preview for her swim line. Now, the swim line looks cute, but Amanda, how is this made for girls with bigger boobs? As a girl who also has like bigger boobs, they don't seem like that much. And I would like a variation of the bottoms because I'm not a thong girly. Like, I just can't have my ass out for the children to see. Oh my God. Amanda's parents, though, so cute. Her dad, low-key, looks like Kyle, though. Shh, Amanda, skip this part. But the whole cast shows up. It looks like we even see Emerald. He wasn't edited out of this episode. Yay! So Jesse tells Wes to shave that mustache because it's covering up his beautiful face. But then he talks about how happy he is with Lexi. Aww. And Amanda is so beautiful, you guys. Like, she's seriously so gorgeous, and it really feels like she's getting to know herself, and she's empowered by that. And like, I relate to Amanda probably the most of anyone on this cast, and I just hope I can get to a similar place as her in my early 30s. Like, I hope my 30s does to me what it's done to her. So on the drive down to the Hamptons, Lexi says she asked Jesse to join her for drinks at 9 p.m. earlier the week, and he said he was getting a manicure. She doesn't trust him and wants to break up with him. Oh my God, though. So then we're at the house. Emerald comes down on his bike. That man is hot. Hot. And then we see Carl. He's doing like mobile pop-ups for softball to help raise money. Carl should low-key do that instead of a brick and mortar. Like, pop-ups? Love. Weddings, parties, events. I love the idea of softball as a pop-up. Now, somewhere where you're paying $10,000 a month in rent? I don't know about that. So then Lindsay makes this crazy post for the 1-year anniversary for her breakup, and she's hosting a freedom dinner with sandwiches. So then all the boys kind of sit outside and talk, and the girls are inside, and Lexi tells Amanda about her plan to break up with Jesse. Then she goes and just breaks up with Jesse. She's like, come here, let's go. And Jesse just kind of like, he's totally caught off guard by the breakup. I think he knew things maybe weren't great when he saw her at the house, but he was like not expecting to get dumped right there. And the girls are talking about it, and they're like, yeah, Lexi got the ick. And Kyle, he goes, what's the ick? And Sierra's, you being a DJ. Perfect explanation of an ick. And I pray to God that my partner understands the ick, knows what the ick is, and won't ever be asking me such questions like, what is the ick? That kind of gives me the ick. A man asking me that. So Lexi says Jesse has broken her trust, and Jesse says he feels like torn down. He says he feels gaslit and doesn't think he's a liar. Jesse tells the boys what happened, and he's like telling them. You can see Jesse getting sad, and he's like, Wes, can we go to our room? And Wes is like, yeah, buddy, let's go to our room. So the two of them go up to their room, and Kyle then tries to explain what the ick is to Emerald and Carl, and they're all so old and confused. I was surprised Emerald didn't understand it, though. So then Paige walks in, because she got to the house late, and she's like, hey guys, what's going on? And everyone's like, oh, Lexi just dumped Jesse. And she's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm walking into. And so Jesse, when he's upstairs, he's like, yeah, I think the breakup has to do with the US Open, me going with Sierra. And then somehow literally everyone's then in his room. He's trying to get away from everyone. Then they're all in his room. So then Jesse tells his side of the story. Lexi says the breakup has nothing to do with Sierra, though. So then they're like, all right, time for dinner. So Lindsay announces it's a freedom dinner. And finally, after she's just been poking and poking and poking at Carl, he fights back and he's pissed. Thank you, Carl. Like, I like it when Carl has some venom, you know? Like, yeah, like, so hot. And she's like, you know what, Carl? Thank you. Thank you for breaking up with me, Carl, because you gave me the life of my dreams. And I can't remember if it was in a confessional or an interview. They were like, she didn't accomplish anything. She just got pregnant. Like, that's it. She then asked Emerald to give a speech. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. And then, but Lexi's like, no, I'll give one. And so she goes off and off about the breakup and says it has nothing to do with Sierra, even though Jesse kind of insinuated it is about Sierra. And then then Lexi tells Sierra she doesn't trust her. And that's where the episode ends. So, I mean, I feel like we're getting to that finale. We're going to learn about Paige and Craig. Summer House, it's not my favorite season. I'm not going to lie. It's not as bad, though, as some people who aren't liking it are saying. It's all right. It's not bad. It's not good. But it is definitely interesting. It for sure is interesting. We're going to talk Atlanta next time we do a recap. I promise. We might be having some interviews coming up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But you can expect us back next week, recapping Atlanta, likely Summer House finale. I think we might take a break from the Valley next week. Hey, I know I say this all the time, but like we have merch. Do you know that? We have really, really cute merch, like little baby tees, like cute little stickers, wine glasses, pet bandanas, tote bags. Like we have so much merch. It's so cute. Link is in my bio on both my Instagram and my TikTok, all designed by my Aunt Margaret. And we're on literally all social media. So while you're like looking for the merch, just follow me, YouTube, Spotify, like, subscribe, all the things, you guys. Listen to the full episode, download it, tell your friends. I love you all. Please have a peaceful and loving week.